Good morning. My name is Viola Llewellyn, and I am the co-founder and president of Avamba Solutions, Inc. I love the fact that I know lots of really groovy people in the room. I want you to dig, if you will, a picture. Imagine, if you will, if there was a way to create a measurement or an index that takes the difficult personal challenges of young women, teenage pregnancy, violence in the home, absent parents, any of those sorts of things, and can create a specific line into how they have overcome those challenges and consciously decided to make some sort of skill set out of it that impacts business engagement, bottom line, and how they lead. I'll give you a really good example. What if the fact that at the age of 19, you were pregnant, had a child, that child died when you were 20? What's that got to do with business? Well, in the case of me, it means that unlike the stereotype that maybe women cannot compartmentalize, the day I buried my child, I took exams. What does that mean in my current business today? That every time I'm told no by an investor and my heart is breaking with panic, I'm still able to carry on. We do celebrate these kinds of tough, gritty behaviors in men. Women demonstrate that in a totally different way. When we think about male leadership, we have names and faces assigned to some of these characteristics, not so much for women. Let's take another example. I'm a 7-year-old child. My mother has given birth to twins. My younger brother has a heart problem. And right there in London in 1970 or so, my mother taught me CPR for my brother in case she was out and he passed out. At the age of 8 and 9, I'd done it twice and called 911. What does this mean as a business? It means that I am capable of doing what is right when under panic and not thinking about the consequences of failure. What does that mean when I have to raise capital? It means that every time I'm told no, I keep on carrying on anyway. People learn to do this in MBA classes. I had to learn this in childhood. Many women take their personal activities, challenges, and threats into business. I did not get to go to university because it is common and appropriate for society back then to punish young women for being pregnant. Do not punish the young guy that laid pipe with the poor wench, but just punish her anyway to show that we have been incredibly upset with her. The same her that will give birth to the children that need to be trained, nurtured, educated with their hopes, their dreams, and their careers put in place so that they can be meaningful contributors to society. Well, I was one of the shameful wenches that decided to drop a child on the planet, had to go through all of that. However, this is important to me in my skill set because while not going to university to become a genetic engineer, I watched my mother doing calculations in her little notebook every night. And she would often try to get me to figure out how to manage the family budget with just a certain amount of money. Fast forward today, my business partner, smarty pants that he is, has an MBA. I don't have one of those. But I watch him try to build bigger and bigger and bigger spreadsheets. I'm telling you, its size does not matter. Sorry, guys. Whereas my idea is, well, why don't we just take simple back of the envelope math, sit down, extrapolate, and see if this works? No, I don't know how to put in all your little circular formulas, but to me, common sense will win the day. And I know for a fact, MBA notwithstanding, that you need to keep your finances simple even when you're being as creative as heck with your business models. I don't think that my mind would be wired to understand outside the box of limitation from education and classical business theory if I had not gone through the struggles that I have. So I ask you yet again, dig, if you will, a picture of those young women like myself who did not have the formality of education based on the way we treat young women when they make mistakes, and think about just how strong, gritty, common sense, and able we are to steal mentorship from smart white men, which is what I did when I bullied my way into working for IBM. A few lies here and there. I just knew I could do this. I will emulate the best possible standards in order to do my job. just the way any CEO or leader reads voraciously to look for best practice and best benchmarks. Because I believe that, centrally speaking, most women have the attributes of global CEOs. Their job from morning to night is to seek opportunities, maximize opportunities, manage resources, nurture talent in their children, support the careers of husbands, boyfriends, or whatever the case may be, and to continue to make sense of everything around them on a daily basis to ensure that the human beings in their charge are becoming very strong contributors to society or to business. Business at the end of the day is common sense. How you engage in relationships is personal. It's based on your authenticity. When my business partner, Marvin, is speaking to people about the technical aspects and challenges of what Ovamba does, which is a phenomenally interesting way of funding Africa's missing middle, those SMEs, with trade finance on a non-interest-bearing way, that, I believe, comes from the fact that women are wired to see things from a blue ocean perspective. We may not always know how to frame what is obvious and what everybody would use classical education to figure out. But we're able to look for the niches and the spaces where human beings exist in their authenticity and build relationships and leverage those relationships to build value. My time is up. Thank you. I really appreciated to chat with you. And all I can say is that every woman is basically a global CEO if you give her the democracy of opportunity. Thank you.